Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Happy Monday. How's everyone doing today? Hey, what's going on, Reese? Yo. Guys, Bitcoin currently trading at $91,297.88, slightly above the 90,500 area that we were trading in for most of the weekend. It's nice to have the volume back. Literally every weekend, man. Every weekend, the volume just plummets off a cliff. We are currently testing that moving average on the RSI. We got a bullish cross and a support bounce, it seems. Hopefully we don't form a little M there. I'm going to go refresh the liquidation heat map and see where we're at. See what we got. Pretty volatile evening we had yesterday with apparently Powell getting some kind of, I don't know, federal criminal investigation probe or something. 90,808. 9808. And then he like uploaded a video or something. 91,924. Basically saying that the probe is not about criminal investigation, it's just about rates, which who knows? You know, it's just a mess now. I mean, the whole thing is just a mess. 94,156. I think it'd be really funny if somebody else did that and Trump literally had no idea. I think that'd be hilarious. And 88,089. Order book's a little thin, or the liquidation heat map is a little thin. Get book maps for heat map, it's insane. Does it cost money? If it costs money, I don't want it. I don't know if you saw, but YouTube numbers are tremendously, they're so bad that Ben Cowan is talking about it now. Let me see if I can find it. This one was pretty good. Let's see. Where the heck is it? YouTube views. Right here. Okay. I got it. Okay. Ben Cowan published this chart. He literally made a chart. Which is pretty funny. Bitcoin is above 70K, and views to these crypto YouTube channels are at 800K a day compared to 4 million a day in 2021. That's pretty crazy. This is old, actually. Wait a minute, where's the new one? There's got to be a new one, right? What? Hang on. He's got the chart published somewhere. 6 hours ago. Alright, this is the new one. Am I crazy? January 2026. Okay, yeah. Crypto content views are at 5-year lows, says ITC crypto founder Benjamin Cowan. From YouTube to X, retail interest has faded amid a weak market. Return to 2021 levels is possible, just not this year. So, number go down. We, even by this metric, have not experienced a bull market since 2021. And that's probably the best metric, because that would signal your blow off top, wouldn't it? We would at least get to these same levels, right? If it was truly retail driven interest. I don't think institutions are gonna, one clip a YouTube candle, or a Bitcoin candle, a YouTube candle. Tufix that high from Australia. What's going on, Tufix? Cheers. That's pretty cool that you're in Australia. I didn't know that. That's awesome. Cheers. Down under. Tishu said JJ Wedge has been kind of interesting. It's a love-hate kind of thing. I mean, I've admitted that he's a smart guy. He puts together charts and stuff. I don't watch him. Everyone was passing that around on X. I can't watch him. And it has nothing to do with anything other than the fact that, like I said previously, he reminds me of my cousin, and my cousin's kind of an ass. So watching him kind of infuriates me. Gourmet Brand said, we're back. The world is over. We're back. The world is over. Every week, Sunday pump, Monday dump. My new trading strategy. I've taken a liking to placing impossible bets on Kalshi. I bet $10 that they're going to raise interest rates, or that they're going to lower interest rates by more than 25 basis points, which sounds ridiculous when I say it, but if some crazy apocalyptic event happens and for whatever reason they lower interest rates by more than 25 basis points this month, I will have turned $10 into $1,000. And it sounds really stupid, but it is truly a gamble. I did it for fun. Tufix said, yeah, where everything wants to kill you. LOL, Australia. That's awesome. You should get a whole Australia fan base, and you should be their representative. I think that'd be awesome. We've had multiple people from Australia now. I feel like Australia has strong crypto beliefs. So, you guys are pretty badass. I don't know if anyone dislikes Australians. Like, I feel like everyone has a problem with, every other country. I don't know if I've ever heard any bad thing about Australians or Australia. Except for the fact that everything there is trying to kill you, but that has nothing to do with the people. The people are just happy to be alive. Gourmet said those Kalshi odds are crazy. I thought it was pretty fun. $10 to 1K. Why not? Like buying a $10 scratch off. Only I think my odds are actually better with the interest rate. Interest cut I think is coming. My other HYSA lowered by 0.1 just like last time. That happened, the Fed cut after. Interesting. Okay. So I placed a $20-some bet. Maybe it was 30. I think it was 20 on them. Do I still have it? I thought I took a screenshot. Maybe it's on my laptop. Might be on my laptop. That they would lower interest rates down 25 basis points. So, I don't know. That one's not as big of a reward. It would be like $300 something. But still, I would make my bulk back because I only have $30 up for grabs right now. If I win 300, then that's $270 ROI, which is pretty good. Beats crypto for sure, especially the speed. I'm not a patient guy, so I'm gonna have to supplement some of my FOMO with some stupid Kalshi bets. You win or lose, and it's definitive. It's cut and dry. Okay. Anyways, Bitcoin chilling, $91,280.85. Volume increasing, looking good. We're sitting right above that moving average on the RSI. We got a red dot in the momentum wave, pointed to the downside, and money flow has been positive since December 20th. So we're still in a good spot for Bitcoin. Does look like we're trying to curl over and continue to the upside. We'll see what happens. Just as easily could reject and turn into a lower low. Bitcoin dominance 59.28. We're looking for a possible resistance at 59.5, which we had before. Maybe even sooner would be better, but we'll see. Maybe this is it right here. Maybe 59.3 was that resistance, but it did technically break and bounce off that moving average on the RSI. Not sure again if that means anything on dominance, so we'll keep an eye on it. ETH currently up 0.21% since the daily close, currently trading at 31.02 and 31 cents, seemingly rejected at 31.75, which wasn't really a relevant point of confluence. It was just some random viewers call for a pullback, apparently by the end of June. But it seems, I guess I'll call it 31.50 rejection with those candle bodies. That seems a little more relevant, yeah, based on resistance. So yeah, we'll go 31.50 for now for that rejection. And we're currently sitting at 31.02. Are we gonna find that floor at 3,075 again? Or even hold above 3,100 would be better. But we're above 3K, so I'm still happy. Volume looks good. RSI did just get a bearish cross over the moving average. See if that continues to the downside. Hope we can get back above. Red dot of the momentum wave pointed to the downside, and a little indecisiveness in this money flow. Went from positive to negative to positive again, which we've seen. It's no surprise. Solana's down 0.3% on the day, currently trading at 138.80. We are holding our upper trend line. This is a legacy trend line. I don't know if I went over this yesterday, so I'm going to go do it today. You guys usually get like 7 days of the week. JJ talking about this. This week it's only going to be 6. I know, I'm sorry. I forgot to talk about it yesterday. In the past, we had beautiful inverse head and shoulder, which rejected the upper trend line. This clear trend line was just for back here. We've extended it though, and it's become relevant throughout. But we rejected this trend line, got supported at our neckline, and that allowed us to break out and establish a new all-time high. So the blue lines are incredibly relevant, and the purple line is incredibly relevant. The purple line is the neckline. So when you zoom in on our current price action, this is what you get. Now what's cool about this is if I was really trying to get you to be a bull, I would tell you this is a fugly inverse head and shoulder. And even to myself, that doesn't look too bad. Unfortunately, if we do invalidate, then it'll be pretty violent. Joe has said the viewership in crypto, the lowest it's been since 2021. Yeah, we were just talking about that. Right here. Crypto content views are at 5-year low, says ITC crypto founder Ben Cowan. From YouTube to X, retail interest has faded amid a weak market. A return to 2021 levels is possible, just not this year. See, I think that that's false, just not this year, because we went from 2021, we went from, what, less than 3K to 200K, all within just a couple months, within like 6-7 months. So I think to say we can't return to those levels this year is false. I'm not saying that we're going to, just what it is. Tisha said, what is better after a pump, rising price action or falling price action? For example, your darling ADA falling on the 1 hour and my darling STX rising on the 1 hour. What is better after a pump? I mean, I guess it depends on the time frame. Something pumps for like months, like silver pumped like crazy, and it hasn't really had any pullbacks. Better after a pump? I mean, I'm a bull. I'm probably always going to say more pump. But statistically, I think it is better for a pullback because that means you're going to establish, or you have a potential to establish, a longer term uptrend. That would be my political answer. Anyways, Solana retesting that upper trend line breakout. See if it holds. That would be ideal. Continuation of the upside. RSI did get a bearish cross over the moving average. We'll see if it bounces off that midpoint. And red dot of the momentum wave pointed the downside. Positive money flow though. Joe as Avenger said, and we may enter a bear market. The crypto industry may die if that happens. We're already in a bear market. Gourmet said, FYI, for some reason the adverts keep rugging my stream. Happened the other day too. Oh, I can decrease the quantity. Let me go to low, save. Alright, refresh. That might fix it. Otherwise, I'll just shut them off because I'm not making enough money to justify even having them on, to be completely honest. Okay, JY's Avenger said, Vibester on Dex. Hope everyone in chat is doing good. I am doing my best to trade this market. I really hurt my leg like last week. And I just touched it and it hurts still. So I'm informing you guys verbally. Alright, let's go take a look at ADA and STX on the 1 hour. I mean, this hasn't really pumped. When January 6th? That was 6 days ago. So for this one, I would argue that, you had your little triple bottom. 1, 2, 3 hits to the downside, break above, retest, continuation, hopefully. We retested that 38-cent level. That is good. Now, STX, it's good if we continue. If we break below it, then it sucks. STX, I would say this had a pullback as well. The only thing I don't want to see here is a bear flag, which would be something like that. Or even like that. Like a rising wedge. Those usually break down. But there are some cases where they break up, and it usually, if it does, is like crazy bullish. This looks good too. ADA, yeah, ADA dumped and then went flat, whereas STX dumped and then recovered and went flat. So they're kind of in the same spot. The only difference is this chunk right here was a lot more bullish for STX than it was for ADA. STX is at the peak that it reached at the beginning of January. ADA is at, I'm going to say, the shelf that it established, the breakout that it established at the beginning of January. So, Your difference is just momentum at this point. STX continued momentum. ADA fell off. Maybe establishing support. Maybe it's going to fall. I wouldn't say it's as black and white as saying one is good and one's bad. All right. Total 3 is up 0.09% on the day, currently trading at 877 billion. We did lose 883 the other day, and we've been battling with it ever since. Are we going to probably touch this lower trend line around 862? We'll see what happens. Worst case scenario, we had a break below that and then check out 857. I might even make an argument for like 845. I don't know. Those are both pretty iffy. I'm going to make them both dotted lines, both dash lines. We'll see if those come into play. As of right now, our RSI actually looks like it's consolidating around that moving average, smack dab in the middle. Same with the momentum wave on Market Cipher. Unconfirmed green dot on Saturday. Let's see what happens. I think everything's going to come down to Wednesday with this Supreme Court ruling on tariffs. They pushed it back, and the pushback date is Wednesday. So we got tomorrow, and then Wednesday we're probably gonna have some whiplash. If you're a degenerate gambler, trade away. If not, I would not recommend trading, but I would not recommend anything because I'm not a financial advisor. Gourmet Brains in Brooklyn said, good investing is not necessarily about making good decisions. It's about making decisions that you can stick with. The Psychology of Money. Great book. I might check that out. Okay, so total 3 looks good. ADA is up 0.16% on the day, currently trading at 38.69. Holding 38 is going to be a big deal for me here. If we lose it, it's going to get a little spicy. I guess my worst case scenario, I would like to see it hold 37.3. Otherwise, I don't know. I don't know what we're going to do after that. Maybe 36. But I was already pretty bummed out that we lost 38 to begin with back there. So I'd like to see it hold to show that the project isn't completely dead. SNEC is up 0.68% on the day, currently trading at 0.00100105. And this is like my interim support line based on this being like the average, and then you got resistance, 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 broke, support, continuation. So hopefully it holds. It's a big psychological level as well. Losing another decimal, not a good thing. We did get a bearish cross over the moving average on the RSI. We'll see if that crosses back over bullish. We do have a red dot in the momentum wave pointed to the downside as well. Negative money flow for a relatively persistent amount of time, actually for a long time, but that's specific to MXC. Midnight is up 1.26% on the day, currently trading at 0.066773. 6.4 potential support if we're not going to hold this 6.6, 6.7 level. Do a little W action. I could see it going down to 6.4 and using that as its spring. Call it what you want. RSI. See if it does go lower. Then you will have bullish div, which is good. We'll see. We will see. Gourmet Brand said the only way to know if a strategy is right for you is if it helps you sleep at night. Exactly. From Federal Reserve to federal jail. Okay, so the strategy thing, that's one of my favorite ways to approach everything. And it seems very neutral and politically correct and like gay, but I don't care. Everyone always tries to shoehorn their indicator. They're like, you need to use this indicator. You need to put it on log. You need to use the 3-day. No. You can check those out. You can suggest those. Be like, hey, man, you should check this out. See if it helps. See if it, gives you an edge. Don't tell somebody that they're doing something wrong. Like, if they are actually, like, if they're doing TA wrong, that's fine. TA is somewhat subjective. So, if you're trying to teach them, like, whatever, inverse head and shoulder, and they're doing it wrong or whatever, sure. But if you're telling them that their indicators are wrong, or their trading strategy is wrong, or their time frame is wrong, you're an asshole. And you're wrong. And you probably suck at trading. Those people always crack me up because they're like, oh, dude, you got to use my thing because your thing is dumb and my thing's not dumb, idiot. Duh. And then they're the ones who quit crypto because they're trying to like mentally justify some thing that they paid for or something. Who knows? Tisha said, JJ, the most neutral non-financial advisor YouTuber I've seen, LOL, on TA. Bullish on macro, though. I am bullish on macro. That is true. Grayman Core said that legislation moves the market too. Great week ahead. Stay hopeful, everyone. Cheers. Appreciate you for stopping by. And don't forget to smash the like button. That's good. That is so delicious. Okay. XRP up 0.09%. I'm liking XRP here. It's at $2.05. Holding $2, obviously, can be a big deal again. What I like, though, is that we kind of hung out around 184. Between 184 and 196, established this nice little shelf, and then blasted up above our trend line here, which I'm assuming this is a descending channel. Yeah. Okay, so we're doing the thing. We're doing the thing, guys. The thing is, the downtrend, the break, choppy sideways situation, and then the uptrend. I like that. Joe Asbridge said, take a quick look at Vibester, please, JJ. Absolutely. So, yeah, 205 looks good on XRP. Don't get too upset if it pulls back farther, because it's that sideways choppy breakout. It can do anything. As long as it's not plummeting to the ground, we're happy. We're okay with the sideways. I want to see if we do continue to the downside, $1.90 maybe to retest this upper trend line. What's going on, Evan? Joe Ezevich said, just looking for take profit levels since you are live. All right, Vibester on Dex Screener. Appreciate you for being here, Mr. Evan. Vibester. Vibester. Yeah. Yeah, guys, like the stream. We got historic lows on YouTube views. Smash the like button, share the stream, send it to your mom, tell her she has to watch it. Do whatever you gotta do. Fight for your right to party. Alright, let's see. RSI. Make sure your mom gets in here before we look at Farcoin. We are at 73.60, previous high level. Okay. Looking for take profits. You're incredibly overbought on the 4-hour and the daily. This is the highest the RSI has ever been. It is a relatively new project, though. It's from October. On the 4-hour, you are also incredibly overbought. You're talking about take profit levels. 1.4 million liquidity, 6.5 million market cap. Gosh, the liquidity. I don't know what happened. Back when we had everyone in crypto and everyone was like, oh my gosh, let's all go buy Solana meme coins. They had 1% liquidity. Now that it's a scam and retail's gone, the liquidity pool is 10, 20, 30% of the market cap, which doesn't happen. That's nice. That's nice to see. Because usually it's hard for, Joe Schmo and whoever to one clip when a good portion of the market cap is the liquidity pool. Take profit levels. I would personally, I'm a little standoffish with these lower cap coins. I would look at 75. There's not enough chart data to really go off of. I could try to pull a fib. Not a big fib guy though. That's not a fib. That's embarrassing. Jesus. That's why crypto YouTube views are historically low. See, I don't even know how to pull a freaking fib. This is ridiculous. Can't go any direction. There we go. Jeez. All right, top to bottom. So your 1618. Actually, that's my psychological level of 1 penny. So I like that. I would even try to front run it, to be honest. 0.00975. Sure. Let's do that. So if I was trading this, I'd be happy with that. Not financial advice. Tishu said, I was getting low volume on my speakers connected directly to my monitor, even on Max. This fixed it. Bargain price. I actually have that problem with my PC as well. It drives me crazy. Horse headphone amplifier. Channel metal stereo audio. That's actually sick. I had a... So, what is it called? There's a thing that you put... Is it an amp? Not an amp. I don't remember. I think it's an amp. I'm trying to think of it now. It's going to bug the crap out of me. But yeah, those are the levels that I would look at. Let's continue. H-bar up 0.21%. Looking like might find support at 11.5, which is what we're looking for. We had this level. This is what a lot of altcoins look like right now. You had a little trading level where you establish some volume, broke out, retest, hopefully continuation. That's what we're looking for. I like that the volume is increasing over time. RSI is kind of bottomed out. We'll see what happens. It does look like it's consolidating. And you got a big fat cloud on the lower portion of market cipher, indicative of oversold nature. SWE is down 0.15% on the day. Currently trading 175.91. So we kind of established, it seemed like a floor around like 180, but we're below that now. So I guess, are we going to go check 169? Support continuation. Unfortunately with SWE, the breakout was way more bullish. So if it does pull back and it's looking for that support's going to, you know, I mean, if we draw it on an angle like that, you're looking at a potential 155, 160. But if you're just going off that straight line, it's 148, which sucks. So hopefully we don't end up doing that. SWE is a strong project. And I don't know if people are just skittish. It seems to sell off pretty hard when it does sell off, but it rebounds even harder. So it's still got eyes, still got attention, still got market share. It did the nice, you know, downtrend, choppy, sloppy breakout. And now we're looking for that pop to the upside. And we've watched it repeat 1,000,000 times on 1,000,000 charts. That's not to say it's for sure going to happen on all of these charts, but it looks good. Tisha said, oh, by the way, it's meant for headphones, but it worked my case scenario. Use male-to-male headphone cable. Already had, just in case because it's not included. Male-to-male is that's just an auxiliary cable. It's meant for headphones? Yeah, I guess my speakers are nice. Speakers usually have their own built-in amp anyways. Especially if it's active. Anyways, we're going to skip Ondo. Actually broke that support level, so it kind of looks like crap. Lost 40. See, this is what my concern is for all these altcoins. I don't want this to happen. We had this beautiful breakout, and we were coming down for a retest, and in Ondo's case, it has lost that support level. So it's not looking great. Like, what is the point of doing all this, coming back up here, just to come back down here again, and the RSI to be at the same exact level? It doesn't look like anyone's really playing around with Ondo. Kind of looks like crap. Aerodrome, up 0.09% on the day, currently trading at 55.93. Rejected 60, holding 55. We lose 55, we're probably looking at 50. We did previously hold 54 though, so there's potential for that. We did get a bearish cross over the moving average and the RSI, and we got a red dot on the momentum wave pointed to the downside with negative money flow. Farcoin up 0.05% on the day, currently trading at 36.65. We broke back below 40, and we're holding 36.26 right now. If we break below that, we're looking at 32. And this is all based on previous confluence. If you guys are like, wow, this guy has a bunch of crazy lines all over his charts. These lines only line up with, you know, things that have happened in the market previously where the price has reacted. It's not a foolproof scenario, but you usually see, I don't know if it's psychological, I have no idea. If it's based on trading bots, market maker, the price usually reacts at the same levels for some reason. I don't know if it's a volume thing, and the easiest way to point out the volume is just when the chart reacts. I have no clue. Tisha said, mine do too. They're amplified but cheap. It's on secondary setup. Anyways, it didn't amplify. It did amplify the volume like I needed. The end, LOL. Nice. Yeah, I was really underwhelmed with when I built my computer, and I plugged my headphones in and I'm trying to listen to music, and it's like quiet. It's like elevator music. I was so pissed. So with Cass was kind of one of the first coins to do the downside and then the choppy sideways breakout. I would like to see some upside out of Cass. I feel like it's been down here forever. October. So we need some semblance of recovery. We do have this blue trend line, which is not law. You know, we've broken below it. A couple fake outs below it. Just a general idea. Volume looks bad. RSI consolidating right in the middle as well. So that actually looks good. Money flow is positive. currently trading at 0.0467. Are we going to get back above 0.05? Hopefully. Avalanche currently up 0.07% on the day, trading at 1354. We are still holding our upper trend line, which is ideal. If we do break that, or if we just continue to ride it, then I would expect a reaction around this 1330 level. This orange trend line right here goes all the way back to 2021. Or I'm sorry, 2020 to December of 2020. So it's a big deal. It's only touched it once, twice. This is the third touch. And it actually went below it as well. So I suppose I don't want to see it go below it again. I actually would like it to set up maybe a crazy inverse head and shoulder. That would be a pretty cool move. But we'll see what happens. I think holding that line is going to be important, though. We already got that little fake out below. Evan said, good thing my kids don't hear you just say 6 to 7. Dude, I hear it all the time now. All the time. Like, I hear it. I don't know if they're doing it on purpose. I hear it in commercials. Like, the 2 seconds that I turn on the radio, I hear it. And they're not doing it for the meme, as far as I'm aware. Maybe they're doing it for, like, some kind of, like, algorithm. They're like, hey, let's write this script and we'll write in 6 to 7 or 6-7 just so it sounds like it's natural. I don't know. It's freaking me out. Tishu said good night. Take it easy, Tishu. Cheers. All right. Gosh, that's delicious. All right, so we went through Avalanche. Chainlink currently up 0.15% on the day. We rejected 14, got back below 1339, and we're currently kind of riding, it looks like 1310, or we can even call it 13, as support. Hopefully we continue to hold that. Otherwise, it looks like we're just rejecting 1339, and maybe potentially we're going to go back down to 1268, which would kind of be a support level. It's a little bit sloppy. I would rather it be a little bit higher, but we'll see where it goes. It's a psyop. They use it to get your attention now, right? For real. It's creepy, dude. It's creepy. All right. So Chainlink looks good. Consolidating around, the RSI is consolidating around that moving average, just like everything else. Red dot of the momentum wave pointing to the downside. Positive money flow. Monad is down 0.74% on the day. Currently trading at 0.02290. Not looking great. Not looking bad. It's just kind of in this weird limbo phase where it's like kind of grinding up, but it's like also very choppy, which is fine. That's totally fine. I like the RSI, almost completely reset. It's lower. Actually, if we get a reaction soon, we'll get bullish div on that RSI, which is awesome. And technically, I think still playing out is this red dot on market cipher. It was about right here. And that signaled, oops, that signaled your Pico top right there, essentially. Besides this, that was a little bit of a high volume spike right there. Pengu's up 0.10% on the day, currently trading at 0.011804, holding 1165. And I mean, it should hold that level. Pengu actually looks really bullish too. All of these other coins are like struggling to hold this level. Pengu did this little thing, the little dance, broke out, and established a nice little floor way above that. Look at that. This is a 21% gap right there. So don't underestimate the meme coins. Silver literally breaking world records at this point. It has never been this high in history. I think it's already up 25% in 2026, and we're literally like 12 days into the year, which is insanity. Currently trading at $85.40. I don't know what to say about this. I was expecting some resistance at 77 once we broke below it again. We kind of, I don't know, we just established this gigantic flag, broke out, retested, continued to the upside. And we're currently sitting at 85.46 with a nice wick to the downside, indicative of some buying pressure. Physical silver is $15 above this price. If you want to buy physical silver right now from a mint, it's about $100. So number go up. Right now, if we did get a reaction, whoops. Can you guys still see that when it does that? That was my bad. Right now, if we did get a reaction and we started going down, then we would have more bearish div. But that bearish div only shows you a temporary downside and a broader, higher time frame upside. So it's not necessarily bad. Now, whenever we go on a big run from a breakout, in the past, it lasts quite a long time. I'm going to count this one from like right here. Let's just say this one was 76 days. This one, I'm going to call that the breakout. To the floor of that flag was 26 days. Is this next one going to be 10 days? Who knows? Is 10 days already over? I don't think so. Hang on. No, it's only been 7 days and 20 minutes, 20 hours, not minutes. So let's see if Wednesday is the top for silver. And if so, what would that price be? Let's do a question in the poll. I want to see how you guys feel again. Let's see. Do you think silver is going to 150? Yes, no. And that can be general. Within like the next couple years, or even just the next 12 months. That's it. Within the next 12 months, do you think silver is going to $150? Because over time, over an extended period of time, it's probably going to 150. Let's be real. People are calling for crazy valuations on silver, which I don't mind because I have some. So, but yeah, it looks awesome. RSI is overbought, even on the daily. It looks amazing. RSI technically overbought, but it did just get a bullish crossover that moving average. So who knows, man? This thing's a monster right now. Absolute monster. So you had a red dot. Look at this. This is kind of funny. You had a red dot on market cipher back here, and that was just like a little continuation stall. And that was in the middle of it as well. You had one right here too. A little red dot, a little stall, and then continuation. Beautiful retest of 77. Gosh. I don't know, man. The TA on silver just works. And it works good. Gold also turning heads. Currently trading at $45.94 and 24 cents. Let's see if it rejects our trajectory line. What did I do? I think I created this one yesterday. The yellowy one. Because my orangey one. Are they even the same color? It's kind of hard to tell. I don't know. This one I'm pretty sure is the one that I drew yesterday. This one's the legacy one. That's actually just my target line. And I was like, let's establish an actual trajectory line. What direction and pace do we think it's going to go? Now we are overbought on the 4-hour here as well. And on the daily actually looks good. Again, we were overbought. We're not at the moment. We're barely not overbought. But we did just get a bullish cross over the moving average on the RSI there as well. Gold, technically speaking, just started its breakout of this big monster triangle. So this thing might run for a while. Or not. You never know. Guys, don't forget to smash the like button. I appreciate you guys for being here. We have been plateaued at like 1,290 something subscribers for forever. So if we could get like 10 more subs, that would be cool. That would be really cool. The ISM PMI Manufacturers Index currently sitting at 47.9. This is not going to change until, who knows, a couple weeks. I don't know. Let's ask Grok. When is the next ISM PM manufacturing PMI read? Because this could just as easily spike above 50, and then we would be in expansion, and that would be great. That would be amazing. Grok saying February 1st. What happened to... Am I crazy? Is there just never data in January? Yeah, it says confirming February 1st. Oh, I'm sorry, February 2nd at 10 a.m. The report covers January. The most recent report for December was released on January 5th. Yep. Okay. All right, cool. Thank you, Grok. Tufix said Russia loaded up yesterday on silver and Costco completely sold out on spot in one day. I don't think the silver run is over yet. Oh, I don't think so either. 75% of you said no, it's not going to 150 though. Costco, I believe, they've started limiting to 1 ounce per customer per day, which is insane. All right, DXY got this month-long trend line that we're sitting at right now. Breaking below that would be awesome, but we'll keep an eye on it. We're currently sitting at 98, 97, getting above 100 probably soon. I wouldn't be surprised. We'll see what happens though. Yeah, nothing really crazy to report with the DXY. Strategy, aka Big B Coffee, 161.70. It's not actually Big B Coffee. I only say that because their Bitcoin logo looks like Big B Coffee. I don't know why they changed it to that. Let me just show you guys. I'm actually gonna put it on their yep, I'm gonna put it on their chart. This is too funny. Bam. Yeah. See the correlation? Look at the logo down here. Their little logo. That's the same color. Who advised them on the color of their logo? Like, Bitcoin orange is not burnt orange. You can't just do burnt orange and assume that nobody else has it. There's literally a burnt orange B for Big B Coffee, bro. That's all I see. And Big B Coffee's not even like a big brand. Gourmet Brands said, I get unsettled when the everyday guy starts buying in general, especially when they had no idea about silver or a project months ago. Yeah, 100%. But, you know, they started buying months ago. And, yeah. Because I remember when they were, like, lining up around the block. I think it was in Australia, actually, to buy gold. And that was like the gold top for like 5 minutes, and then a couple days went by, and all of a sudden gold's running again. So I don't know, it's crazy. This time, it sucks to say because you know that it's such a meme, but this time might be different. We have to take that into consideration, but we also should exercise safety, use a stop loss, all that stuff. Wear a condom. Big B Coffee, 161.70. It is up 3.11% on the day. Good for them. Glad that they are no longer dying. Hopefully they continue to not die and that this can actually like ride up from here. Otherwise, it's looking bleak. NASDAQ down 0.1% on the day. Not too bad. We're kind of we're expecting some pullbacks and volatility. We actually are expecting a big pullback. So we'll see what comes of that. If I do shift this over, it's looking like pullback until Wednesday, Thursday. Nope. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We'll call it Saturday. Yeah, Friday. We'll call it Monday. Next Monday is when we start going back up. If we're going to pull back at all. S&P up 0.16% on the day. This thing's breaking records, man. So we've got our fractal, which is slightly offset, kind of by design. But we're going to leave it. And then I have this semi-transparent concept, which is literally just mirrored off the fractal. TNT Media said silver all-time high approaching 86. Hell yeah. Yeah, dude, silver's cranking. It is up 0.89% on the day. We just had the daily close. This thing's nonstop, dude. Out of control. Absolutely out of control. Evan said, what's your projection on Fed decision this year? This year? Or this month? S&P 69.77 and 26 cents. Yeah, this looks awesome. We are looking for a pullback and this as well. Same concept until Monday. So we'll see if that plays out. Dominance 59.26, hopefully rejecting firmly. And Bitcoin itself 91.154. Evan, are you talking about January for interest rate? Or are you talking about who Trump's going to pick to replace Powell? My projection on Fed decision this year. Yeah, let me know. I need some context. All right, let's get into the news segment, guys. Breaking. Fed prosecutors open criminal investigation into Fed Chair Jerome Powell, according to the New York Times. And then Powell published this video and basically saying he did not have sexual relations with that woman. He straight up, he said the Department of Justice is threatening the Fed with criminal charges for refusing to follow President Trump's interest rate demands. I don't know, the plausible deniability is there, because you think Trump would have done that months ago, right? I'm just saying. President Trump says credit card companies will be in violation of the law if they charge over 10% interest rates after January 20th. Evan, are you okay? I guess I'll ask you in the chat. Rate cuts or the power replacements. Okay. Next we've got $400 billion Standard Chartered to launch crypto prime brokerage. Very cool. Michael Saylor's strategy bought 13,627 Bitcoin worth $1.2 billion. Absolutely insanity. Gold reached a new all-time high of 4,600. Hell yeah. White House economic advisor Hassett says Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell is a good person. Tom Lee's Bitmine buys 24,266 ETH worth $75 million. Google becomes the 4th company in history to reach a $4 trillion market cap. That is insane. And I believe I saw recently rate cuts. Okay, next 6 months. Next 6 months? So in month 5, we're getting a new Fed chair. So I think, don't let your bets make you buys. I think we're for sure getting, if Trump chooses the right person, I think interest rates are going to 0. I do. And maybe that's stupid. What do I care? You know what I mean? I have no control over the situation. But that's what Trump wants, and he's going to appoint somebody, because that's what he's doing, that is going to do what he wants. So month 5 is when Powell gets out in May. So for 2026, I think interest rates go, hopefully, money printer go burr and number go up, along with our bags. That is my hope. Let's see. We went through. Oh yeah. So the Google thing kind of blew my mind. Berkshire Hathaway bought a big fat stack of Google, and somebody just sold Apple. Was it Berkshire Hathaway? I don't remember. Someone sold a bunch of Apple, bought Google, and I think the writing was on the wall. Apple had been struggling with their AI, and Google obviously is Google. You know, they're a lot more advanced. I like Apple. Obviously, the iPhone is great. Everybody loves it, whatever. I'm not an iPhone guy. I have a cheap phone. It's a Google. I like my cheap ghetto little Google phone. But I do have a MacBook Pro. I will never not own a MacBook Pro. I bought one in 2011, with the year, like the month my daughter was born, actually. A couple weeks beforehand. And I'm not even joking. I retired it in 2021. It's sitting in a desk behind me and on a shelf. It still works. I can click the power button and it'll power up and be ready to go within 60 seconds. That's crazy. They ended support for the hardware, and then a couple months went by and I was like, it's probably time to retire. So I bought another one, and I use it for all my crypto stuff because it's secure. Derek said, "Sup, JJ?" What's going on, Derek? Okay. But yeah, I like Apple. I think they make good products, but when it comes to AI, they're definitely lagging, and Google is not. And Apple knew that, and they're not stupid, so they partnered with Apple for Google Gemini, which I've used Gemini. I think Gemini is my preferred AI right now, actually. Average U.S. gas prices fall to $2.79, the lowest level in 5 years. I actually saw gas for $2.81 today, I think. Or maybe it was $2.71. It kind of blew my mind. Evan said, if they go to 0, I'll sell everything and buy assets. I thought we were doing that anyways. That's what Trump wants, though. I don't know if they're going to go straight to 0. I don't know what they're going to do, but everybody wants 0 interest rates, and I want a damn house. So, bill to ban members of Congress from trading stocks expected to advance this week. Hell yeah. X to build financial news and trading features. X shapes market sentiment and drive transactions in public and crypto markets more than any other corner of the internet. I think this is incorrect. I think Reddit does. But Mr. Nikita Beer, who may or may not be mildly brain dead, just completely, excuse my friends, effed the algorithm on X. And then he tried to tell everyone that it was our fault. And then everyone went after him, and they kind of fixed it, but it's still kind of trash. And then everyone started looking into his history. Apparently, he's made and sold 2 apps, and both apps sold for millions of dollars, hundreds of millions of dollars, and they now have 0 users, each of them. So he kind of just I don't know. It seems like he either committed fraud or he just sucks. Those are the 2 options available, and both are bad. So I don't know. But sure, that's cool. They're adding the smart cash tags. That's cool as well. I'm excited about that. President Trump warns the U.S. would have to pay back hundreds of billions of dollars if the Supreme Court rules his tariffs are illegal. It would be a complete mess and almost impossible for our country to pay. Did we spend the money already? I'm confused. Jim Cramer, this is what cracked me up. I saw this today. I was like, uh-oh, Jerome Powell's actually going to get in trouble. Are you ready? Jim Cramer says Jerome Powell has been a fantastic Fed chairman, which means he has been the worst Fed chairman in the history of Fed chairman. So thanks for ruining that, Jerome Powell, or Jim Cramer. Treasury Secretary Bessent warns President Trump the criminal investigation into Fed Chair Powell made a mess and could hurt financial markets. Apparently nobody cares. BlackRock CIO Rick Ryder calls for the Federal Reserve to lower interest rates to 3%. Interesting. Crazy psycho bitch Elizabeth Warren sends a letter to SEC claiming people will lose big if crypto is added to 401k retirement plans. Meanwhile, she's a multimillionaire. So, President Trump to interview BlackRock CIO Rick Ryder. That is such a sick name. For Federal Reserve Chair. That sounds like some 80s action hero. Rick Ryder. S&P 500 closes above 6,975 for the first time in history. Hell yeah. President Trump imposes 25% tariff on any country doing business with Iran. SEC Chair Paul Atkins says this is a big week for crypto. I think they're voting on the Clarity Act or something this week. Who knows? I feel like they've been voting on the Clarity Act for a year now. So it's the boy who cried wolf at this point. The SEC Chair who called vote. SEC Chair Paul Atkins says the top priority is bringing crypto markets out of the regulatory gray zone. I thought that said gay zone for a second. Bitcoin versus global liquidity lagged 50 days. M2 says we bounce here January 12th. This is from Marty Party. Not too bad. But we'll see what happens. And then he's got his Wyckoff accumulation, which is the opposite POV, saying we're going to dump January 15th going into the 18th, which leads us to our spring. Probably pushing us into the 21st, 22nd, 23rd, if it's going to play out that way. He has shifted this along, the trends change, the market changes, the charts change. It's just a concept. It's just an idea. We've got ETF filing. New S&P Crypto 10 ETF by Cyber Hornet ETFs. S1 filed with the SEC. Symbol CTX tracks a basket of 69.92% nice percent of Bitcoin, 14.58% of ETH, 5.05% of XRP, 4.75% of BNB, 2.92% of Sol, 1.09% of Tron, 0.57% of Cardano, 0.48% of Bitcoin Cash, 0.36% of Chainlink, and 0.29% of Stellar. Personally, I think the less than 1% ones are kind of funny, but who am I? President Trump said if credit card companies do not lower interest rates by 10% by January 20th, they are in violation of the law. Very severe things. They really abuse the public. I am not going to let it happen, Trump adds. I will say he's going hard for midterms, and I'm kind of okay with it. Evans said, in reality, if they go to zero, people will get way too loose with their money, and I'd expect an inevitable crash if they are kept there for years. Just my expectation, the way large companies move, always knowing they will get bailed out. Oh, 100%. That's the beauty of printing our own money, though. Evan, if you have not already, go look up modern monetary theory. All of this dancing around the interest rates and Trump and Powell fighting and all the gold and silver and the oil in Venezuela, all of this political theater is all to make you think, or to instill, they shove it in your brain. They're like, money has value. Cash has value. Look at all the trouble they were going through for cash. It's obviously value. You idiot. Go work 9 to 5 and pay us our cut. And then you do. When in reality, they've printed like an insanely large percentage of our circulating supply of money. Probably more than what they report. And I bet you if you do like a 1-to-1 ratio, the inflation does not track with the amount that they've printed, because inflation is it's a meme, it's a psyop. What dictates the price going up? Or, yeah, the cost going up. Oh, because there's more money in circulation. That does not inherently make something less valuable. Maybe it makes the cash less valuable when you know that there's more money in circulation. But if no one ever told anybody, and there was suddenly, they just quadrupled the money supply, without ever telling anybody, which they probably do, then prices would not move. Because no one would be aware. And what are you going to do? Go count every dollar? Okay, good luck. I'm not saying that that's actually what's happened. I enjoy the idea of modern monetary theory. And the bailouts and all that stuff back that up. Which, by the way, the bailouts, pretty sure in 2008, 2009, what inspired Satoshi Nakamoto to create Bitcoin. So, cheers. We just had a bunch of Bitcoin anniversaries recently. Absolute legend. I think today, Hal Finney received the first Bitcoin transaction like 10 years ago or something. It was not 10 years ago. It was like 15. Okay, let's get back into the news segment. Bitcoin, $91,278. Silver, $85.87. Absolutely shredding. It's crystal clear. Any trade that has to do with improving affordability will do very well this year. Any trade that has to do with decreasing consumer sentiment will do terribly this year. President Trump is in midterm election mode. That's what I think, Evan. I don't think they would keep rates at 0 for a year. I think they just do it for midterms, honestly. But who knows? We'll see. Silver surges back above $85 an ounce for the first time. Wait a minute, I said back above. Silver surges above $85 an ounce for the first time in history. Now already up 19% in 2026. Pretty sick. American Express stock AXP falls 4% as President Trump calls for a 10% cap on credit card interest rates. Trump says those who do not comply are in violation of the law. Here's my question. If they can't make a profit charging 10% interest, then why are they in business? Why do they have to charge 20, 30? I get offers for like 36, 37, 38%. And it's like, great offer for you. I'm like, ho, wow, this is so good. It's laughable. Like, they're just wasting ink and paper. It's crazy to me. It blows my mind. But they still mail it out. All these predatory interest rates. It kind of blows my mind to see the president doing something about these issues. It really is, like, psyching me out. U.S. stocks react to Trump's 10% credit card rate cap. Capital One down 7%. Affirm down 5%, American Express down 4%, Citigroup down 3%, MasterCard down 3%, Visa down 3%, US Bancorp down 3%, JP Morgan down 2%, Wells Fargo down 2%, and Bank of America down 1%. These stocks have now erased $100 billion of market cap on the news. Consumer affordability is the midterm election trade. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. The S&P 500 erases losses and turns green, now less than 30 points away from hitting 7K for the first time in history. Dip buyers are already back in full swing as all assets soar across the board. Let's go. U.S. gas prices officially fall to an average of $2.79 a gallon, the lowest since March 2021. American households are set to save $11 billion on gasoline in 2026 compared to 2025. Who is up for a road trip? Do you remember when road trips were affordable? I'm kind of excited. I'm excited to plan a vacation and not have to allocate several $1,000s to gas. Breaking, the U.S. is nearing a trade deal with Taiwan, which would cut tariffs and secure major new investments from Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Co., TSM, in the U.S. Under the agreement, TSM would agree to build at least 5 more Arizona semiconductor facilities. This would reduce U.S. tariffs on Taiwan to 15% per the New York Times. Market breadth is improving. 70% of the S&P 500 companies are now trading above their 50-day moving average, the highest since August 2025. The percentage has more than doubled since November as the rally has broadened. At the same time, 64% of stocks are trading above their 200-day moving average, near the highest reading since December 2024. Furthermore, less than 50% of S&P 500 stocks are now in a correction, the first such occurrence in over 200 days. The S&P 500 has also not had a 2% down day in 61 consecutive trading sessions, all while 93% of the Dow Jones Industrial Average stocks are trading above their 200-day moving average, the highest since 2021. Market momentum is strengthening. Let's go. Breaking. U.S. household net worth jumped $6.1 trillion in Q3 2025 to a record $181.6 trillion. This was almost entirely driven by equity holdings that soared $5.5 trillion as the stock market hit a record high. At the same time, the value of real estate holdings fell $287 billion, reflecting a weaker housing market. Since Q1 2020, household net worth has risen $72 trillion, or 65%. As a result, it now reflects 792% of disposable personal income, the fourth largest quarterly reading on record. By comparison, the ratio's peak was 829% in Q1 2022. Asset owners are winning more than ever before. U.S. workers are taking home less of what they produce than ever before. U.S. labor now reflects 53.8% of U.S. GDP, the lowest since data began in 1947. This metric shows how much of the economic output goes to workers through wages, salaries, bonuses, and benefits. Since 2001, this percentage has declined 10.4 points. Meanwhile, corporate profit margins after tax are up 10.9%, the second highest on record. This means workers are producing more, but corporations are capturing an increasing portion of the gains. The American worker is getting squeezed. Not me. You gotta work for a small business and become irreplaceable. Breaking. President Trump says large U.S. tech companies must pay their own way for the rapidly rising electricity costs due to data centers. Trump says Microsoft is first up and they will make major changes this week. Trump is going after electricity costs next. That's actually crazy. Utility bills, we're the hottest country in the world, and number one on AI. Data centers are key to the boom, keeping America free and secure, but the big technology companies who build them must pay their own way. Okay, so he's going to make them pay for... Good, because I don't want my electricity bill going up so that, so we can put Grok in a bikini, because that's stupid. I don't care. X plans to make its feed algorithm public this week, giving users full transparency into why posts appear in their feed. There's going to be a whole new wave of people that are going to be like, I'm an X feed guru, and I can help you get viral. Or some crap. They're going to be like, I studied the X feed this week for over 40 hours, and I'm ready to teach you how to go viral. History. This is what the thing was. On this day, 17 years ago, Bitcoin's first transaction took place. 10 Bitcoin from Satoshi to Hal Finney. Cheers. Rest in peace, Hal Finney, and potentially Satoshi. Absolute legends. That's awesome. Trump family-backed World Liberty Finance launches a lending market powered by Dolomite. I thought that said dopamine for a second. I was like, geez, how'd they figure that out? Snag is up 1.95%. Let's go. What else do we got? Anything in the single digits? 1.29% on CAS. I think that's it. Dang. All right. Bitcoin 91,300. Oh, 91,400 even. Very nice. Next, we've got long-term Bitcoin holders selling has slowed, with net outflows retreating from the extreme lows per Glassnode. Very cool. Google crosses $4 trillion valuation, becoming the only the fourth company in history to do so. That's insane. That still blows my mind. Latest U.S. earnings season kicks off this week with S&P 500 Q4 profit growth expected around 8 to 9% year over year. That's crazy. Update: solo miners found 36 Bitcoin blocks in 2025, earning the full 3.125 Bitcoin reward plus fees, about 317K per block on average. That's awesome. I think I'm going to get a lottery miner for my desk because I think they're fun. Insight: Willy Woo says Bitcoin looks bullish into late January, February as flows recover, but remains bearish for 2026 without a major surge in long-term spot demand. This guy's 50-50. I don't mind him. He's very popular when he's right. Insight: Sentiment ranks MetaMask, Filecoin, and Starknet as the top crypto projects by development activity over the past 30 days. Can't believe Filecoin's up there. What's File up to, man? Haven't seen anything about that coin in forever. Okay. Kind of bottoming out. Not bad, actually. Not bad. I expected way worse. Very cool. Bitcoin, 91,441 and 35 cents. Let's go. ETH recovery is being led by spot demand as futures open interest rebuilds, with on-chain and derivatives data pointing to renewed trade exposure. Very cool. This one's kind of weird. I don't know what this is. Update: from Satoshi alone to 6 maintainers today. Bitcoin Core adds pseudonymous dev The Charlatan as a 6th maintainer with commit access. That's pretty cool. So we got 6 people working on Bitcoin, and I'm assuming they're all anonymous, maybe? Who knows? Cool stuff, though. Cool stuff. BitGo targets a U.S. IPO, seeking up to $210 million in a planned New York Stock Exchange listing. SEC Chair Paul Atkins says this is a big week for crypto. Passing bipartisan market structure legislation will help us future-proof against rogue regulators. Thank you. Save us from Gensler. If Bitcoin follows silver, we top at 400K in 2026. Be ready. 400K in 2026 would be insanity. That would be insane. We got silver going up to $79 on this chart. And Bitcoin kind of looking pretty similar, actually. That's pretty neat. And that's why they're calling for, I guess, an insane valuation of 400K for some reason. We've got, this is a cool, just inspirational scenario. I forget what this guy's name is, but he was the guy who told you, he's like, I don't care who you are, what you do, just buy $10 worth of Bitcoin or something like that in 2013. He bought Bitcoin for $100 in 2013, and now he's worth $312 million. This is what conviction does for you. Arthur Hayes? Is that his name? I don't remember. What's his freaking name? Why does he still pump shitcoins? I mean, you got to maintain your wealth somehow. I'm 50-50 on the guy. He had great insight way back then. Now, who cares? He's rich. He has no incentive to benefit anybody but himself. 2026 Bull Run Roadmap. This is another random arbitrary chart, but I like these. I think they're fun. January, consolidation. February, Bitcoin rally. March, alt season. April, bull trap. May, forced liquidations. June, bear market, bookmark and compare later. January, 90K. Belief, 160K. Euphoria, 180K. Anxiety, 150. Okay, so we're looking at January, February, March, April, May, June. My birth month is April, so we'll see what happens. That'd be cool. I mean, it'd be cool to pump like that. The death of altcoins is a lie. Now, if you look historically, this does happen before every altcoin bull run. Altcoins are dead every single time. Every single time. This is another reason why I have no issues buying at these levels. But I've explained it 1,000 times as well. It's a lot easier for me to cope with losing, for example, $10,000 than it is for me to cope with missing out on millions of dollars. Does that make sense? The death of altcoins is a lie. This alt season index chart represents a massive transfer of wealth from the impatient to the strategic. The wedge is the trap, breakout is the reward, tick-tock. The RSI is the smoking gun. Look at the 2-week RSI. While the price consolidated for 3 years, the momentum indicator has fully reset to the historic launchpad level. 8 years of suppression Is this the death of altcoins or the birth of cycle 5? Ooh. Gourmet Brand said, I believe that. March alt season. I like it. I'll take it. We've got aluminum jumping to its highest price in more than 3.5 years. Who's loading up on aluminum foil? Let's go. Look at this. Check this out. This is a huge flex now. Check this out. All right. Greed returned to the stock market for the first time this year. In 2026, stock market has officially entered greed. We've watched this thing tick between greed and fear and extreme fear so frequently. It kind of seems kind of silly. I don't know what they're using to measure it, but it seems more volatile than crypto. Republican Senator Thom Tillis will block any Trump Fed nominee due to the probe into current Fed Chair Jerome Powell. Okay, I don't know what that means. Vows to block Trump's Fed nominees. Interesting. Breaking. Corn is going down, which is going to make my cereal cheaper and probably majority of the food that we eat, which is exciting. And last but not least, we got another bullish update. It's not an update. It's the same chart that we've been looking at from 7 days ago. The Livermore speculative chart, which is the hot chart at the moment. I do like it because it points to us going to some crazy valuations, 225K for the next point before the end of the year, which would be pretty sick. I'm not going to lie. But we'll see what happens. I'm not saying it's law. I'm not saying it could happen or it can't happen. I just like the idea. And if it did happen, it would be pretty sick. So we'll see what plays out. Bitcoin, $91,387.39. Let's go refresh. Nope, we're not refreshing anything. We're going to go check on our portfolios. The 1K to 10K Grok portfolio currently down $488 or 48.8%. Best performer, Solana, down 18. Worst performer, Aptos, down 71. Wow. Then the meme coin portfolio, currently down 570, 57%. Best performer, Pepe, down 80, $80. Worst performer, GigaChad, down 165. Then we've got the narrative portfolio, my favorite, and the best performer at the moment, currently down 183. $183 or 36.6%. This portfolio is made up of one meme coin, one artificial intelligence coin, one decentralized physical infrastructure coin, one real world asset coin, and one gaming coin. And it is absolutely killing it. Fetch and VeChain fighting for the bottom. Best performer by far, no question. Tau only down $4 or 4%. Worst performer at the moment, VeChain down $59 or 59%. And last but not least, we have the perfect entry portfolio, which we are going to rename to the, how do I rename it? Can I do that? Edit portfolio. We're going to name it the knife catching portfolio. Timing market. So this goes to that whole timing the market. Time in the market beats timing the market. This was us attempting to time the market. Currently down 407 or 40.7%. Best performer here is Chainlink, down $14 or 14%. Worst performer is Avalanche, down $61 or 61%. Evan said, alt season is not a myth. I've seen it. Waterworld. That's such a good movie, dude. Nobody knows that movie. It blows my mind. It's free right now on YouTube. I don't know if it's free on YouTube in general or just with YouTube Premium, but it's free. And it's an amazing movie. All right. Guys, don't forget to smash the like button. I appreciate you guys for being here. Do a quick update of our numbers. We got Bitcoin at $91,395.31. ETH at $3,114.62. Solana, $138.53. Total 3. $876.86. Let's go check total 2 really quick. I want to show you guys, just in case there's anyone new here. This fractal is awful. I think I've talked about scooting it. But we're going to leave it. We're going to see how awful it gets. Right now, we're just consolidating in between 1.17 and 1.32. Like smack dab in the middle. That has been our little safe zone. And total crypto market cap. TNT said breaking former New York City Mayor Eric Adams launches a meme coin that hits 580 million market cap before crashing 80% in a matter of minutes. Nearly 500 million market cap has been lost. That's crazy. Right after Evan said all season's not a myth. That's insane. Gourmet Brand said I see 3 rallies this year. Mid to late March. Peak in August. Then October. My prediction NFA. Allegedly, if we are entering that true 12-month long bear market, October is going to be the Pico bottom. I do think we are in a bear market. I do not think that we are in a 12-month long traditional bear market because I don't think we had a 4-year traditional bull market. 3-year, whatever you want to call it. Okay, so this is my favorite chart right now, the total crypto market cap. It's really interesting to me. I don't know why. We got a short rise, a medium rise, a long rise, a long dip, a medium dip, a short dip. I don't know what's going to happen on this 4th go round, but it makes me happy. It's very satisfying. My OCD, my brain is tickled. This was a 9-month long bleed, 5-month long bleed, 2-month long bleed. And the 5-month is 5 months both ways. So we got a 2-month long rise and a 9-month long rise. What's going to come next? I have no clue. It can be any mix of those, I'm sure. I actually grabbed the breakout from the 9-month to 5-month transition, and that puts us around 4.57 trillion in 3 months. April 1st, April 2nd, which would be Liberation Day. That's kind of crazy. Evan said, like the stream, guys. Pretty please. Appreciate you, Evan. So yeah, that's just this is just a concept right here, taken from the past, little fractal, just as an idea. But I tried to go longer than the 9-month because I'm assuming there's gonna be some kind of a pattern. Each run up is getting longer over time. We got 2, 5, 9. There's not really any rhyme or reason to it, I guess. So you added 3 and then you added 4. So you're adding 5. 5 to the 9-month, which would be 14 months. Right now we've got 410 days. Let me see really quick. 420 days would be 14 months. So yeah, actually my December 2026 top kind of checks out. So if we are going to have a 14-month rise, which is all, again, this is all just totally made up. It's totally fantasy right now. But there's like a reason to it. If we are going to have a 14-month rise, let me actually put that on there. 14-month rise next. Then December 2026 is going to be our top, and if it follows the same trajectory, same wavelength that we've been going for, we're looking at a $5 trillion total crypto market cap. And then, because our dips have been getting shorter, we went from 9 months to 5 months to 2 months, we might crash. That might be it. Like 1 month straight down to like $3 trillion market cap, which would be crazy. But I'm guessing right now we're establishing that little bottom, and that way when we do crash, it's going to be higher than where we're at, maybe. I don't know. It's all just speculation, all just theory, because that's what we do here. Or my brand says October because it's right before midterms and we'll see a pump. That's true. I'm curious as to when they're going to send out these stimulus checks, because they talked about them, and that's the best way to get that vote bought. But they're going to have to do it closer to midterms, because if they do it now, everyone's going to forget by the time we get there. So, but they are in full midterm mode right now, trying to buy your vote, which I'm totally okay with. Send me all the money you want, dude. Send me all the money you want, because at the end of the day, I don't have to do shit. I can choose to sit at home and not vote, and I still get the money. Which kind of cracks me up. But maybe I'm evil. All right. I asked you guys Do you think silver's going to $150 within the next 12 months? 60% of you, we got 5 votes. 60% of you guys said no. Interesting. So 3 of you said no, 2 of you said yes. Very cool. Let's see. We've been going for an hour and 20 minutes. I'm probably gonna call it. Bitcoin's chilling. Hopefully we got to do an emergency stream soon here, guys. I'm looking for that God candle to the upside, so that way I got to get on and be like, oh, guys, oh my gosh, Bitcoin's 150K. Look at that candle. So Derek said I vote yes. I think a lot of people are voting yes, and it seems relatively justified. It really does. But anyways, guys, this is where I'm going to live and leave you. Appreciate you guys for sticking around. Don't forget to smash the like button on your way out. Gourmet said, did they say how much for the check? Oh, Trump said 2K. I think they said $2,000 stimulus checks for the tariff stimmies. Allegedly. But Besant also said we're going to get he said something like, everyone's going to get the biggest tax return ever. And then he came on, he was like, it's going to be like $2,000. And I don't know about you guys, but if you have, especially if you have kids, your tax return is way more than $2,000. Tell you that. I don't know if Besant hasn't paid taxes in so long or something. It was just kind of funny to me. He's like, it's going to be the biggest ever. Like $2,000. Well, I don't know how out of touch he is. He's like, holy crap. He like hands his grandkids like a dime. He's like, go buy yourself a candy bar. Like, what are you talking about, bro? Are you good? Anyways, as always, Bitcoin starts to do anything crazy, I will hop back on. Otherwise, I will see you all tomorrow. I appreciate you guys for sticking around. Don't forget to smash the like button on your way out. Happy Monday and good night.